name is Evan Sokinyi. I'm glad that you're here with us. This fine evening, I'm joined here by my resident guest, Wakili Willis Otieno, a constitutional lawyer with vast experience in legal matters in this country, but who's also decided to venture into the political space, and therefore is currently the deputy party leader of Safina party. Wakili, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Yes.
My friends are asking me, how serious are you, Jimmy Wanjigi, Safina party, and of course, Willis Otieno?
You know, we are starting a conversation.
Yes.
And our conversation is about economic liberation. We are trying to liberate our people from the economic yokes of legacy politicians.
Yes.
And Safina party is a vessel that believes in a life of dignity for everyone. It is time we as a people, we actualize our Article 43 rights, socio-economic rights in our constitution. And we believe that our politics should be about enhancing the economic space for all Kenyans, giving every Kenyan an opportunity to live a life of dignity. That is what Safina party is about. It's about the economy, not about legacy politics. Legacy politics has led us to where we are today. This is the results, the outcome of legacy politics. The pain that you're seeing our people witnessing every day. And maybe it's time we start a new conversation. A conversation about economic emancipation of our people. That is what Safina is.
So looking at Safina party, of course, this has been one of the parties in the Kenyan political space so far. And in as much as you're blaming the legacy politicians, but of course, it has a number of legacy politicians in there, including Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, who've been members of this particular party. What is it that is actually different right now? What is it that you can look at and tell us now, look, this is Safina party, it's different from ODM, it's different from UD and the rest.
Look at the core of the ideology that informs the formation of Safina party. It was about economic liberation, social justice. That is what even Senior Counsel has lived all his life about. It's about social justice and economic emancipation of the people.
Yes.
But if you ask me the ideology of other political parties, where the legacy politicians are, right now I'm struggling to find it. It's not for me to discuss the ideologies of other political parties. But what I can see is that the presidential candidates in the last elections, Ruto and Raila are in one side, the deputies are on the other side. That's legacy politics. So it means the ideologies are not fundamental. Differences are not fundamental. They are the same. But it's for them to speak for themselves. It's not for me to spend time discussing legacy politicians. Mine is to try to champion a cause where the Kenyan people can consider an alternative leadership. A leadership that is informed by a desire to address what, in my view, is the core of our governance, the economy, not creating positions for Wakubwa. Legacy politicians, they believe that once your Mukubwa has a big seat in government, then you are sorted. So you give Mudavadi a seat here, all lawyers are happy. You give Mutua, all Kambas are happy. That's what legacy politics is about. But as we are saying, no. Politics should be about implementing policies and an ideology that will empower everybody at their level, so that you don't look at who is at the top there. They end up to be a tribesman. Tribe doesn't help anybody. Our legacy politics has been politics that is informed largely by tribal formations, arithmetics. But that has led us here. You lose nothing by trying something new. And that is what Safina party is offering to the people of Kenya.
So you are actually charting a new path and having some sort of a complete departure from what we've seen in this country in terms of party politics.
Exactly. Not even in terms of party, but tribal politics. As we are very clear, let's have an ideology politics. Let's debate issues. Let's present our solutions to the problem on the table. Let the Kenyan people debate, discuss, interrogate, question us, test them. Then the ultimate should be that it benefits the Kenyan people. Not that only a few select legacy politicians benefit and the people continue in their penury and suffering. I mean, 60 years of this legacy politics is enough. Maybe it's time we try something new that gives everybody an equal opportunity to live a life of dignity, to empower them economically. Not that you discuss politics based on what your big man from your tribe is sitting on a table, then you say you are now in government. No. It should be about you, wherever you are, in your own space, you have an opportunity to advance economically. The government is coming up with policies that empowers you. Based on your ability, your capability, you are able to self-actualize. Not that you all hope that one day your neighbor will be made a minister, then you say you are now in government. No, that doesn't help. That doesn't serve the cause of humanity. That is what Safina Party is projecting as the difference. As we want you to discuss governance based on tangible policies that are going to impact on the lives of the people positively in their numbers, beyond that which you know. That is what Safina Party represents. And Safina Party is just but one of many parties that exist in Kenya.
Okay.
And nothing stops the legacy politicians from organizing along tribal lines, as they know it. That's what they know. Nothing stops them.
As a party.
But we are inviting Kenyans to consider that it is not just about tribes. There are other alternatives. So we are offering ourselves as an alternative vessel to change the conversation.
What is the strategy of the party this time around? Because we are yet to see you people revamp, restructure, have grassroots elections and all that. They're yet to see you outside there. And what are you still waiting for?
We are outside there. You may not know it, but there are so many Kenyans who are silently members of Safina. We don't have to stand on the rooftop to announce, to shout to everybody. But there are so many Kenyans toiling, working day and night, selling the Safina ideology across the nation.
Okay.
You'll be shocked when you do your own run round to find the kind of conversation that people are having about Safina and saying, maybe it is time now we consider something different. We've had enough of this legacy politics. So we are doing a lot. And there are many Kenyans, volunteers, who are giving their time, energy and resources to champion the cause of alternative politics, politics of dignity, politics of the economy, as espoused in our Safina political party.
One of the biggest questions which is being asked right now is we are facing, of course, we're moving onwards towards the next general elections, whether it will be in 2026 or 2027 or thereabout. We are looking at a situation where we're going to have an election with political heavyweights in this country. Of course, President William Ruto will be defending his seat. We expect Fred Matiang'i or Kalonzo Musyoka candidature therein as well. And then, of course, you're here with Jimmy Wanjigi as the presidential candidate and you as the running mate. Questions are asking, what makes you therefore believe that you can actually succeed in a place where people, the likes of Raila Odinga, have actually failed before, even with their Orange Party and whichever parties that they've had in the past?
But those are legacy politics. As we are playing different politics.
Okay.
And we are simply saying, if anybody wants to try something new, away from legacy politics, we are here. And I do believe the vast majority of Kenyans right now are ripe for an economic conversation. So the timing is right for us.
Okay.
And the many Kenyans who want to have a genuine conversation on the economy and to discuss tangible results that will change this economy to the person, not to the tribe. The home is Safina. But for those who still want to participate in legacy politics, you are spoiled for choice. There are many. They can participate in that. And that's their right, actually. But we do believe, as Safina Party, that where we've reached as a country, the time now is ripe for an ideology-based conversation that looks into the core of our problem and a debate on the tangible solutions to that problem. And the core of that problem is the economy. And we invite our obstacles to also come and share the ideas on how they can revamp the economy. And I do believe the best ideas will win. And as we are very clear as Safina Party, what the problem is, and we've always said, is the debt. Which odious debt we will not pay. And government borrowing illegally from the domestic market. We will not borrow from the domestic market. We will unleash that capital. Free it to the Kenyan people to be able to access capital. Those great ideas that Kenyan people have, that they have not been able to actualize for lack of resources, they'll now be able to access credit facilities at low interest rates and unleash that potential. To us, it's not just about Kenya. We see Africa as a market. How do we take our innovations beyond the borders? How do we access other markets for our ideas, for innovations? With access to capital, and also principally, what are the values, the core values that informs our being? We'll define our Kenyan identity in the process. As it is now, we are a ragtag. We are still trying to struggle to identify who is a Kenyan, what does a Kenyan mean? Those are kind of the things that Safina Party is about. And those are the things that we are going to bring into our politics. Of course, people will tell you that, no, it's not, Kenyans are not ready for that kind of conversation. They are used to the legacy politics. It's okay. There are Kenyans who are used to legacy politics. But we know the vast majority of Kenyans want something better. The choice is going to be between good and bad. And the good of legacy politics, we can see it. It's now bad. But the potential of the good that exists in this new brand of politics is also there. That is where we are focusing on.
Don't you buy the idea that all politics in this country is actually local and therefore begins from somewhere?
That conversation is what has led us to where we are. Yeah, all politics has been local, it's been tribal. There, the results. You have the results of all politics being local, tribe as the basis of political organization and voting. Here it is. Are we poorer today or richer today than we were yesterday? Kenyans are poorer today than they were yesterday. There is more hopelessness in the Kenyan people today than it was yesterday. The results of all politics being local. So, unless Kenyans want to continue with this, then they're in good space. Those who want to continue with the legacy politicians. But if you want to change this cycle of poverty, this planned poverty that is strangling our people, then the Safina conversation is where we should be. Where we now discuss tangible issues about the people. Empower the people. Legacy politicians are the ones who will use the police as a vessel to oppress. Just understand this. They use the police as a vessel to oppress their citizens. As a Safina, we say no. We are going to be about how do we empower the people to even control their policemen. I told you last week, why should every police station in Kenya not have a civilian oversight committee from the people coming from that location to oversight how the police exercise their powers? And that oversight committee is constituted by civilians elected by the people in that locality. And they should be able to go into the police station and check on everything. And they have powers to even reprimand a police officer who abuses his police powers. Legacy politicians will not do that. Why? Because the police is their tool of oppression. As we want the police to be a tool in the hands of the civilians, the people of Kenya, so they can be able to make sure that policing is done for their benefit, not to the advantage of legacy politicians. Right now, Kenyans want to demonstrate. And there's fear being sold that the police are going to kill Kenyans. Why?
Are you certain we are totally done? Are you certainly saying that we are totally done with legacy politics?
We are inviting that conversation. And I do believe the vast majority of Kenyans want a different conversation. They want the conversation about making the country work for them. But those who still want to carry on with the legacy politics, you are spoiled for choice.
So indeed, there is that quest for transformation in the country. And at this point, you harbor that kind of quest. But for you to get there, you definitely have to, first of all, go into an election, vie and win. There is always that route to power. This time round, your vehicle to power is Safina Party. And that is where you're saying. So my question would be, in an election where we're going to have still political heavyweights, in terms of parties, we are looking at DCP, we are looking at UDA, we are looking at the Orange Party, and as much as it has some sort of national kind of face, but then it stems from the Nyanza region, then the DCP in the mountain and all this. At the end of the day, where does your arc?
But I've told you, all the ones you've mentioned are led by legacy politicians. They organize based on tribe. So anybody who wants to vote based on tribe, you have enough company. That is not what we are about.
They say that at least you have to start from somewhere. Why?
That is what you are trying to take us back.
Where is Safina going to
you are trying to take us back to legacy politics. To play our politics the traditional way. We are not. We are not about tribe. We are about ideology and issue. And we do believe across the entire nation, there are so many Kenyans who are tired of this tribal politics,
Okay.
who are tired. But over and over the years, they've been forced to participate in tribal politics. Those are the Kenyans we are telling, no, let's gather courage of our conviction. We are now going to participate in ideology politics.
Okay.
Those are the ones we are targeting.
So don't you buy this idea of numbers in that somebody would say, look, Raila is coming all the way with the numbers.
It's okay. That is legacy politics. That is what
say,
I'm telling you. Is legacy politics.
Okay.
We are not going to participate in legacy politics. We are going to participate in ideology politics, where we are saying ours is about the economy. And the economy knows no tribe.
Okay.
So every Kenyan who wants to change the economy, Safina is the place to be. And you ask where we'll dock. We'll dock on Mount Ararat, the house on the hill, at State House. That is where Safina will dock at the end of all this political process. Where Kenyans, who I believe are in the majority, that want to see the economy work for everybody, they'll all come to Safina. But the ones who want to continue politics based on tribe, they are spoiled for choice. They have enough vessels that they can enter. But those of us who believe that our politics should be about the economy and about the people issues, social justice, Safina is the natural home.
I can see the party is trying as much as possible to avoid being affiliated with a specific region or a specific tribe.
We are not trying. We are not.
Okay.
We are not trying. We are consciously not associated with any region. We are national because we've identified our issue is the economy. We are not saying that CG one region is not in government, so we want to be in government, so we want to compete so that that region can be in government. No. The problem is the economy. And the economy is bad in Rift Valley, it is bad in Central, it's bad in Nyanza, it is bad in the coast, it's bad in Kukambani, it's bad everywhere. So anybody in that, the entire country, who is saying this economy is not working for us, that is the person we are inviting to have a conversation with. And we are many who are all saying, despite even legacy politicians coming from our regions, the economy is not working for us. Those are the ones we want to have a conversation with. Those are the ones that Safina is targeting. But those who want to vote based on tribe, you are spoiled for choice.
Okay.
You can go and vote for your tribal lords. But I do believe the ones who want to see an economic conversation are also equally more than you. There is their right to caucus as such. And that is where we are.
Okay.
That is Safina. Safi sana na Wanjigi.
Are you going to file failed candidates in other elective positions?
We will, from MCA, all the posts, even all the by-elections, we have candidates already expressing interest to run in Safina party tickets. And we will field candidates. We are going to change the conversation.
All the way to the presidential?
All the way to presidential.
You've seen the united opposition, at least that is what they call themselves.
Yes.
And I believe as long as you're not pro-government, at least it's easier for you to have a conversation with the other side. You told me the other time that as long as it's about the economy, well, you will have that kind of dialogue.
If we are talking about the economy, that is okay. But if you are discussing about how to bring regions into power,
okay, so talking about the economy, but then at the end of the day, your biggest quest is to make sure that you win the election. Being part of the larger opposition, will you then engage these people so that at the end of the day, we may witness a situation whereby your party leader cedes to maybe another candidate and decide to support them?
We have told you, if the conversation is about the economy and we choose the best person who understands the economy as a candidate, that's fine.
Okay.
But if it's a question of tribal arithmetics, we are not interested. We will go to the end.
So you're willing to support
there are
somebody
so
else?
many Kenyans who have shown interest in pushing us to the end because they want a different face on that ballot. A face that's not about the tribe. A face that's about an issue. The issue being the economy. That is where we are. So give me another face that can represent the economy. Then we look at other parameters and discuss. But if it's about tribal arithmetics and balancing, we are not interested.
But it's important that we let the people know that you're willing to engage and support another candidate if needed.
We are going to the end. So as it is now, we are engaging.
Okay.
We are a candidate. How do you become a candidate and start by saying...
Are you engaging to solicit for these people's support?
How do you start saying that you're engaging and I'm willing to support somebody else? Then you're not serious. As we are willing to engage on the economy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you engage to seek the support of others?
On the economy.
On the economy?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you're saying that we should expect a Jimmy Wanjigi, Willis Otieno ticket.
A Safina party ticket.
A Safina party ticket.
Yes.
That is it in the next general elections.
Yes.
Well, let's wait and see. That will be a little bit tricky then, because we may also have the other side. And of course...
Which is the right. That's why it's a competition. It's not a coronation. It's a competition.
And the president...
And the best ideas will win. Legacy politicians versus the people of Kenya. And the people of Kenya will win.
Okay. That's the new mantra.
It's legacy politicians versus the people of Kenya. And the people of Kenya are clear on what they want. They want a solution to the economic problems.
Okay.
That is where we are.
Wish you all the best in your quest to transform this country, and of course through going for the top seat in the country. And of course you here going against the person who's been at the helm of leadership in this country for the past 2.5 years. You're saying here that for you, taking him out of that place would be a walk in the park.
It's nothing.
Okay.
William Ruto, the Kenyan people are done with. Why are you even focusing on him? Our focus now is on what next, not William Ruto. That's the past.
Okay. New sema langu jicho. Let me wait and see what happens, but I wish you all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Weigh in and tell us what you actually think about the kind of party politics that we are witnessing in this country. The DCP is having its wave in the mountain. And of course, Safina party is also revamping here. And they're saying, look, we are ready for the next elections and we are ready to take on President William Ruto. At the same time, remember, President William Ruto is also sleeping. He's also active here with Raila Odinga at the other end. All these will play out, and our team is here to make sure that you understand how all these things will actually happen and translate into who becomes the president of this country in the next general elections. Allow me to stop for now till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.